Hello, welcome to new leader training for MNCoE Innovations. The purpose of this introduction video, this is the first of 8 of our webinar series for new administrators and leaders and that are joining an existing MNCoE Innovation team. And the purpose is to help you understand the implementation process, to unpack how implementation teams work, and to get you started in your journey with your implementation team. So our goals for this series of trainings is for you to understand the stages of implementation and the drivers of implementation that will support your work in program-wide adoption of the innovation you've chosen. I know we have a lot of new words and new vocabulary coming your way. We will dig into what each of those things means throughout our time together in this webinar series. For now, an innovation for your program might be Classroom Engagement Model, or CEM, might be EQUIP, which is the evidence-based quality intervention practices for the birth to 3 programs, and it might be the pyramid model, which is our social emotional framework. Another goal for us is for you to become familiar with your team's innovation status, to understand where is your program in their journey for program-wide adoption. We'd like to help you understand your role in the innovation work as a leader or an administrator on your team, and to identify ways for you to participate in the implementation of this innovation. We also want to show you where you can find resources that will support your work. There are a lot of things developed, from templates to videos and documents that would support your team and yourself. We'd like to make sure you know where those things are and that you can easily find them. And then finally, to make sure you understand how you can support your team in using the practices as intended. Where are the resources? Where are the supports? And so as we get started, one resource you may want to find right away, if you don't have it already, is your implementation team manual. I'm actually going to just go ahead and pull up the electronic version. On the screen, you have the links for it. You also have the supporting document that goes with this training. It's our template for you to take notes. It has links to all the resources that you will need. And so the first thing I'll do is just go ahead and pull up an implementation team manual. You're going to see these share sites regularly throughout our training today and throughout the series whenever you choose to watch it. And so for the classroom engagement model, there's an implementation team resource page. That is also true of our EQUIP share site and for our pyramid model share site. Again, the links for these are on your supporting handout. The implementation team manual is going to be on each of these tabs. So everything that we're referencing today, you can find in this electronic team manual. If you would like a printed copy of the manual that is bound and you can hold it in your hands and refer to, your external coach or PDF can get you a resource, no problem, just let them know. Some of your implementation team members may also have an implementation manual already printed out. So this is a go-to for you today. We're going to refer to this a number of times. If you're not familiar with Google Share Sites, in order to access these documents, you click on the arrow in the right-hand box, and then it will open up the Google folder that stores all of the resources that we've been referring to. So you may want to pause this recording for a moment, go ahead and get yourself oriented to the link here, get yourself onto the share site and find that implementation team manual, because we will refer to it throughout our time. So now that you've got your manual, let's just talk about how the Minnesota Centers of Excellence for Young Children with Disabilities approaches professional development on these evidence-based practices. On the left side of your screen, you see the content. These are the practices that support children's social emotional development in the pyramid model, increase engagement and learning for classroom engagement model, and help home visitors use a coaching interaction style in natural learning environments for our EQUIP model. When your staff attend content trainings, they are learning the practices and strategies that they can do in their classrooms and in their home visits. These evidence-based practices have been published. They are part of the Division of Early Childhood Recommended Practices. Most of them are available to you outside of MNCoE training. You can find them in books, which we reference throughout our trainings. A lot of them are also available if you do internet search. So the practices themselves are not something that MNCoE developed. These are nationally recognized resources from researchers in the field that we have bundled these practices together in order to create an innovation framework that you can implement program-wide. And that's what the process is for. Rather than having one person attend the pyramid model training in your program and come back, and now they are approaching children's social emotional development differently than everyone else, we have everyone in the program working through the same professional development process over 3 to 5 years, so that you have consistency, you have equity, and you have a program-wide approach to using these evidence-based practices. And so on the right-hand side of your screen, the process talks about the different drivers, competency, which includes selecting the right folks to be coaches, to be participating in training, getting them that content training, and then providing coaching to support the implementation of those practices. We also have organization drivers, which talks a lot about systems and what our administrators can do and how we can use data to make decisions. And then finally, we have our leadership drivers, which is going to be technical. Where can I find the things I need? And adaptive, which is a little more messy and really related to problem solving. And when we put these two things together, that's what MNCoE uses as our innovation work. And we have aligned all of our practices to the DEC recommended practices and use the research from the NERN website regarding implementations. So as we get ready to dig into the unpacking how you're going to support your team as a new leader or new administrator, a new member of your implementation team, we thought it might be helpful for you to know some of the resources your team started with. If your program is in year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their work in classroom engagement model or EQIP or pyramid model, they started by going through exploration. Exploration is the first stage of using these practices program-wide. Exploration gives us an opportunity to walk through the content and the process and understand a little more about what we might be engaging in for professional development so that we can make a decision about if it's a good fit. So on the MNCoE site, you have access to the material that your team used in their exploration process. There are executive summaries available for the pyramid model and classroom engagement model, so you can see how the work has been going, what's the data, what's the support in Minnesota. EQIP's executive summary will likely be published this year, which is 2021 in case we're watching this in the future. We also have some documents that help understand what will the first year of anyone's work look like. If I am going to be coached, what's the timeline for me? So the year 1 timeline can be a valuable resource. We have the data submission plan. What's the data we're going to take? Who's going to take it? And when will it be submitted? And then we have a whole bunch of resources regarding roles, responsibilities, expected outcomes, a give and get. What will your program get from MNCoE? What will you give? And so all of those resources are available, and you may wish to pause now and take a peek so that you understand exactly what your team looked at before they started the innovation. Might give you a little bit of a background and understanding. The other resource that your team likely started with is our welcome kit. And in our welcome kit, we have each of the trainings, who needs to attend them. There are some resources for planning your training plan and your coaching plan. It's unlikely that your team is still using those exact resources as they've built their implementation plan going forward. But if you'd like to see what those look like and you need more context, your external coach, your PDF can help you with that. So after we completed exploration, which are all of the items in the left-hand box, learning about the innovation, be it classroom engagement model, EQIP, or pyramid model, reviewing the give and get document, walking through a hexagon tool process, which talks about our readiness. We did that in each of our programs as either a small group of staff or a full staff. Doing some check-ins around buy-in, making sure staff understand the innovation and are ready. There was an application completed, so you may wish to find your completed application, including your letter of support and approval from your local school board. That may be something you want to make note to find. We went ahead during that exploration process and identified your potential implementation team members and started talking about communication and really setting the stage for long-term sustainability. I say we because as a professional development facilitator and external coach, my colleagues and I were with your team every step of the way and continue to be. And so that's how the work has been conducted so far and will be conducted. You have access to your external coach and PDF to be your guide on the side throughout this process. And so setting the stage for sustainability is something we talk about continuously, knowing that after the initial 5 years of implementing this work, we still want everything to continue in your program. Our goal is to create the practices as business as usual, so that after 5 years, we're using the pyramid model all the time. It's just part of our practice. And so that's our goal with program-wide adoption and with sustainability. This document is again available on your supporting handout for each of the innovations. If your team has participated in one of our sustainability planning days, they have likely completed this to see where are we in the process. And so again, you may wish to pause and make note that understanding where your team is in the implementation stages and process will be valuable for you as you think about what's next. Another big picture resource that will be helpful for you as you become oriented to the work is the vocabulary list. I said earlier, some of this initial conversation probably sounds like jargon, and I apologize for that. We have created, as a MNCoE team, the vocabulary list for each of our innovations. It is located inside of your implementation manual. I'm going to pull up one example so that it's easy for you to find. I'm going to use the pyramid model example. All of the innovations have this in the same place. So the vocabulary list is sitting outside of any of these folders. And if you click on it, you will get the behavior coach, the behavior incident report, and each of our innovations has all of the vocabulary terms listed along with a definition, occasionally a resource. And because we love acronyms in early childhood, we've also included the potential acronym that you might hear. So again, that may be a resource that you want to find sooner than later as you're learning all of these vocabulary words. Additionally, in that same location, we have our sustaining the innovation guidance. And this gives us the big picture that we're headed for. So if your team happens to be in year 6 or 7, which is past the 3 to 5 years of initial installation and implementation, our hope is that you are in sustainability, that you continue to meet as an implementation team, you have a plan to train new staff, you have a plan to coach new staff, and you continue to use data to make decisions for your professional development needs around this work. And on the right-hand side of the box describes to you what happens when you are a MNCoE Innovation Site and the benefits that you will have during your first 5 years and beyond. So again, even if your team is in year 7 or 8, you're always able to attend MNCoE Innovation trainings at no cost. It's a benefit of being a partner site. There will be access to any updated data tools, the ability to attend and participate in our annual implementation retreats where you have the opportunity to learn from other existing sites. Your external coach or your PDF will be available to you throughout and available even to attend implementation meetings or support new coaches as needed. We have coaching webinars that folks are able to access. And we can include your fidelity data in the Minnesota Common Course Catalog. So those are some of the things that continue to be important as you're building your sustainability plan and as you are sustaining this work long-term. And finally, to understand what program-wide adoption really means, we've included the site that sort of describes the older approach to professional development, which is one teacher attending a training, coming back and trying to use that information in his or her practice on their own, versus that program-wide approach where systemically all staff are focused on the same vocabulary, the same practices, the same goals, and using the evidence-based practices as our standard, and using coaching support, using data, and having procedures and systems so that families are included, and the experience for families and children from one teacher to the next, from one early interventionist to the next, is more similar. And you have more consistency throughout your program rather than one classroom uses this approach, another classroom uses this approach, and the inequity that inevitably comes from that. Before we wrap up this segment, a few things to know about your team's implementation journey, things we've learned along the way at MNCoE. Implementation is not a linear process. There are a lot of steps forward and sometimes side steps or even steps backwards. As we have turnover, as we have change in district goals or priorities, or as new things happen in the world. I'm recording this in 2021, which means we've all been through a pandemic now. So we know that implementation is not a straight process or a simple checklist. It really is different in every program. What works in a small city like Kelliher, Minnesota, may or may not work in a larger program such as Robbinsdale. And we want to help you apply the principles of implementation science in the way that works for your program, which means there will be some flexibility and some difference in how this work looks in your program. Sustainability will look different in every program too, and planning for sustainability is an ongoing process. And so with that said, we're excited to take that journey with you. In the next several webinars series, we will unpack each of the critical elements to reaching full implementation, and you can access those the same way you access this recording, which is through your external coach or PDF. Thank you.